Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting of Vineland City Council on Tuesday, November 25, 2025 at 5:30 p.m.
Dr. Arthur is absent. Councilmember English.
Here.
Councilmember Vargas.
Here.
Vice President Gomez.
Here.
President Spinelli.
Here, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Publics Meeting Act has been given by the City Clerk on December 11, 2024, and is amended in the following manner. Posting written notice on the official bulletin board in the lobby of City Hall, providing written notice to the offices of the Daily Journal, Press of Atlantic City, and Vineland Voice, and filing written notice in the office of the City Clerk of the City of Vineland.
Chair will entertain a motion to move the minutes of the pre-meeting conference and the regular meeting on November 10th and the work session of November 17th, 2025 be approved as submitted.
So move. Second.
Discussion? Seeing none.
Councilmember English.
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas.
Yes.
Vice President Gomez.
Yes.
President Spinelli.
Yes.
Mr. President, I present a commending resolution number 2025-569, a resolution recognizing Joseph Love upon retiring from public service effective December 1, 2025.
Chair will entertain a motion that resolution number 2025-569 be adopted according to law.
So move. Second.
Discussion? Just like to congratulate Joe on all his service to the city of Vineland and wish him a good and healthy retirement.
Nothing else. Councilmember English.
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas.
Yes.
Vice President Gomez.
Yes.
And President Spinelli.
Yes. I'll read the commending resolution into the record.
Is Joe here? No.
Joe here.
Joe?
No.
No? Okay.
Whereas Joe Love began his career with the city of Vineland on April 6, 1982, and whereas Joseph has furthered the city's mission by providing valuable public service to the Vineland community, and whereas Joseph has earned the respect and confidence of his co-workers and employer throughout his many years of faithful service, and whereas Joseph Love has earned the well-deserved retirement from the city of Vineland effective December 1, 2025, ending his public service career in the Department of Municipal Utilities as work leader maintenance. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council of the city of Vineland extend their sincere thanks and appreciation to Joseph Love for a career of loyal and meritorious service with best wishes for many years of health and happiness. Congratulations.
I present resolution number 2025-570, resolution recognizing Nelson Ocasio upon retiring from public service effective December 1, 2025.
Chair will entertain a motion that resolution number 2025-570 be adopted according to law.
So move. Second.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yep. Nelson, I want to thank you for all the hard work. I'm excited for you, right? You get to do the greatest job in the world right now is be grandpa to your grandson. Just thank you for being a great friend and being family, right? So I congratulate you, and I'm looking forward to what God has for you in the next season. Yep.
Nelson, congratulations as well. I didn't know you until we got here, but we became friends as it went on, and we really appreciate everything you've done for the city as well as the friendship that we have had. So congratulations and best of health.
Paul, let me just get it home with as well. Nelson and I, we go way back, more than just the business. You know, guys know me, 40-year businessman, plumber in this town. And Nelson always picked up the phone when I called. He never dodged the bullet. He always gave me an answer. If he didn't have it, the next morning he did. Because God knows I didn't call you in the morning. I called you at night. Your wife probably can vouch for that. But he truly always put the customer first, who was the taxpayer, that puts us in these seats. And I was going to vote no tonight because I wanted to just stick around a little longer, but I wouldn't do that to you, you know, because I know you got some babysitting duties. But that being said, I thank you not only as a businessman, a friend, a colleague, because I know it's not easy walking in them shoes. You know, especially now, you're at a certain age, you see the young generation come up. It's a different generation, but they are the future. So I know you kind of laid the foundation, and thank you for your years of service, because it was truly a pleasure to work side by side with you as a businessman. Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you.
For the official vote, Councilmember English?
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
See that, Tony? I don't know,
sorry.
Nelson, I just don't know, but
Easy,
listen.
Rich. Don't rush it.
Congratulations, Nelson, everything you've done for us and for your entire family. And you really, now you have a really full-time job, so look out. I've been there.
I know, I'm loving every
And
minute.
there's nothing more than that important, so congratulations again. Take care.
See, we're extending your retirement here.
Now for the official vote. Councilmember English.
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas.
Yes.
Vice President Gomez.
Yes.
President Spinelli.
Yes. I'll read this as well into the record. Whereas Nelson Ocasio began his career with the city of Vineland on June 24, 1996. And whereas Nelson has furthered the city's mission by providing valuable public service to the Vineland community. Whereas Nelson has earned the respect and confidence of his coworkers and employer throughout his many years of faithful service. And whereas Nelson Ocasio has earned well-deserved retirement from the city of Vineland effective December 1, 2025, and his public service career in the Department of Municipal Utilities as water repair supervisor. Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council of the city of Vineland extend their sincere thanks and appreciation to Nelson Ocasio for a career of loyal and meritorious service with best wishes for many years of health and happiness. Congratulations, Nelson.
Thank you, thank you.
Nelson, if you want to say anything, go ahead.
I just want to thank the city for 29 years of service. At times it was rough, but you know, working for the city is always rough. You got to put the residents first, and that's what I try to instill and teach the younger generation coming up behind me. I thank Bobby. I thank the entire city council. I've known them for many years. Jim Nair, Alex Gomez, Dennis Coons, work with them. There's been a lot of people that I've want to say, you know, are friends that I've learned from working with the city, past and present. Some are no longer with us, but I'll always cherish my times with the city of Vineland. And thank you again.
Mr. President, I present resolution number 2025-593, a resolution commending Jim Donovan for his outstanding professional achievement, public service, consumer advocacy, and civic engagement to our community.
Chair entertains a motion that resolution number 2025-593 be adopted according to law.
So move.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none?
Councilmember English.
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas.
Yes.
Vice President Gomez.
Yes.
President Spinelli.
Yes. I'll read this as well into the record. Whereas CBS News anchor Jim Donovan began his career as a news department intern at WWOR-TV in Secaucus, New Jersey. Whereas he subsequently served as a news writer and field producer while simultaneously working as an international flight attendant for Continental Airlines. And whereas in 1993, Mr. Donovan left the airline industry to pursue his passion for journalism, joining WNBC-TV in New York City as a research coordinator. Whereas in 1994, he continued his advancement in the field by joining CNBC as an investigative producer and consumer reporter for Steals and Deals. And whereas in 1997, Mr. Donovan established an investigative unit at WGHP-TV in High Point, North Carolina, where he was recognized by the Better Business Bureau as Outstanding Consumer Reporter. Whereas in 2000, he was recruited by WNS-TV, the CBS affiliate in Columbus, Ohio, where his consumer advocacy earned recognition from the Ohio Attorney General's office. Whereas in 2004, Mr. Donovan joined CBS Philadelphia and launched the 3 On Your Side consumer unit, further cementing his reputation for impactful consumer reporting. Whereas following Hurricane Katrina, Mr. Donovan initiated a fundraising effort in which CBS Philadelphia viewers donated over $1 million to assist with the Red Cross relief efforts. Whereas in 2016, he advanced to the anchor desk following his distinguished coverage of Pope Francis' historic 2015 visit to Philadelphia. And whereas throughout his career, Jim Donovan has earned numerous professional accolades, including the National Cable Ace nomination, an Emmy Award, and 5 additional Emmy nominations for his consumer investigations, and during his tenure in Philadelphia, 13 Emmy Awards and 20 national nominations. Whereas Mr. Donovan has further demonstrated his commitment to the community by volunteering with organizations such as MANA, CARI, and Autism Care Foundation, contributions that led to his induction into the Broadcast Pioneers of Philadelphia Hall of Fame. Now, therefore, be it resolved, Mayor Anthony Finucci and Vineland City Council do hereby applaud and recognize Jim Donovan for his exemplary professional contributions, his steadfast commitment to service and community, and his positive impact as a benefactor to the great city of Vineland. We extend our sincere appreciation and wish him continued success in all future endeavors. If no one knows, Mr. Donovan for the last 5 years has been the MC for the old-fashioned Christmas event, as well as some other things in the city.
Thank you. We'll open up the public comment portion of this meeting. Public comment provides an opportunity for the members of the public to inform the governing body about their views. The governing body prescribes the City Council's bylaws and the New Jersey statutes on open public meetings when engaging during public comment. As such, each individual shall have a 5-minute limit to comment, cannot yield time to any individual, may only approach the podium once during public comment for any one topic, vulgar offensive language is prohibited, and City Council will not engage in dialogue with the public during this time. The governing body maintains model courtesy and respect and requires the members of the public to do the same.
This time I'm going to read a statement in regards to the data center, and I know many of you are here for that issue, and hopefully some of it will get cleared up by this statement. The Data One data center project was subject to the full and appropriate review, planning, and zoning processes as required by municipal regulations. As part of this process, a comprehensive redevelopment plan as well as additional amendments to the plan were appropriately considered and approved by City Council, most recently in 2023. The most recent amendment to the plan allowed for a number of potential uses within the redevelopment area, as well as uses currently allowed within the underlying industrial IB zone. The data center use was reviewed and approved by the zoning officer and determined to be an allowable use within the IB zone, and was also deemed compatible with the redevelopment plan requirements. Information pertaining to the project and redevelopment plan was published and made accessible to the public in accordance with all applicable laws and transparency standards. Additionally, appropriate notices and public hearings for the redevelopment plan and its amendments were given and held by City Council. These hearings ensured that members of the public had the chance to voice their opinion, ask questions, and receive information about the redevelopment plan before any City Council members voted to approve or disapprove it. The city remains committed to maintaining openness and accountability in all development matters and to ensuring all requisite procedures are strictly followed throughout the review and the approval process. So as you can see, 2023 was the last amendment that was made. At this time, if you'd like to speak, it does not have to be about that. You can come up. You have 5 minutes. Whoever would like to come up first. State your name and the municipality where you live.
Hi, my name is Naomi Ingraldi, and I live in Vineland. I'm going to speak.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'm also on the Board of Trustees at the Vineland Historical Society. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I would like to publicly thank the Environmental Commission, City Council, and Mayor Finucci for naming the trails at Willow Oak Nature Preserve after Mary Treat. Mary Treat resided in Vineland for more than 50 years. She moved to Vineland in 1868 to a new town that embraced progressive ideals such as temperance and suffrage. She was a self-taught naturalist who utilized the scientific method of observation, investigation, and experimentation. Mary Treat was a trailblazer for women in the natural sciences long before schools emphasized STEM education. Mary Treat authored 5 books and wrote approximately 100 articles in various scientific and popular magazines. Mary Treat corresponded with prominent scientists of the era, including Charles Darwin, with whom she exchanged 15 letters, more than any other woman naturalist. The remarkable contributions of this 19th century botanist will not be forgotten. Naming the Willow Oak Trails for her is a fitting tribute to her legacy as Vineland's most distinguished naturalist. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. President, I do have a Josie Spinelli.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the lady.
Very funny. I think I need, okay, here we go. Good evening. My name is Josephine Orlando Spinelli.
Where do you live, ma'am?
And I live in Vineland, New Jersey. I am here representing the Old Fashioned Christmas and my amazing committee. My committee is right here. Could you just stand for a second, my committee? Come on. Amazing people. The Cruzes, the Morvays, the Spinellis. They've been with me this whole time. Okay, please, all right. I'm here this evening to express my sincere gratitude for the council's support during this 5-year journey. The city has been amazing with its assistance with this event. A shout out to our mayor, Anthony Finucci, Robert Dickinson, our public works, our masonry department, our economic development department, finance, police, and OEM. All were always willing to help, and of course, my husband, Paul Spinelli. That said, I thought it was time for a report of sorts to you, the city fathers. Since it was through your general due diligence, I was able to proceed with the idea of an old-fashioned Christmas, something similar to a Hallmark greeting card or a Hallmark Christmas movie. And actually, it did begin with a greeting card, the cards that were just given to you, and you all have one of those cards. It actually kind of started with that idea. A friend of mine took pictures of Landis Avenue at Christmas time, and so the Vineland Christmas greeting card was born. Moving on the idea of old-fashioned Christmas was born with so many wonderful people wanting to help, starting with Mr. George Perez. He created the drawing that has become synonymous with my event. He gave it to me with no strings attached. It is mine and belongs to Old-Fashioned Christmas. The first year of this event, with the help of the VDID and Russell Swanson, we began this amazing journey. That same year, I became acquainted with an amazing Philly celebrity known as Jim Donovan from Channel 3 News. For the past 5 years, he has attended the event and then attended the tree lighting without asking for a dime. Next, we were able to secure a horse and buggy team, which is an amazing feat. They're usually booked way in advance. She has been with me for 5 years, and all of my entertainers, which include singers, dancers, choirs, magicians, churches, face painters, costume characters, and our own police explorers, the Sweet Adelines, the VHS Select Choir, Vineland's ROTC, the Rowan Jazz Band, CC Tech students, Radiant the Fire Dog, and this year, Cole the Deaf Dog. And Bob Morgan will be DJing as well. To further my dream, I was able to secure 2 Mummer string bands to our event this year. They include the Jersey String Band and the During String Band. My vendors have also grown. We have several children's authors attending and a medieval group coming as well. We have about over 30 vendors of various kinds. Of course, we have Santa Claus and T&F Camera taking pictures. In the past, we had classic Christmas movies as well. More importantly, we always try to make the children of Vineland the center of our old-fashioned Christmas. This year is no different. The letter writing to Santa Claus continues, highlighted by the beautiful mailbox created by my husband and G.I. Rivera for the kids to put their letters in. This year, we have a scavenger hunt prepared, as well as CC Tech students. Surprise bags filled with all kinds of things to brighten their Christmas, and a candy guessing jar as well, and a candy table filled with all kinds of surprises. Every year, the community and myself has attempted to make every year better than the last. I believe that with the exception of a permanent home, that always seemed to escape our needs. But this year, we were lucky enough to move this Christmas event into the new convention center. Many thanks to Sandy Frasiski and her team at the Economic Development Department. Without their help, we would still be left out in the cold. Hopefully, I've enlightened the council and the public about this amazing event, now 5 years old. It takes a lot of planning and securing of vendors, entertainers, donations, and supporters. One last thing, the tree lighting kicks off the old-fashioned Christmas with a wide array of entertainers, Christmas characters, Jim Donovan as the MC, Santa himself, and of course, fireworks. Thank you for your time and your consideration. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, members of City Council. My name is Stevie Gretsch. I'm a Vineland resident living less than 1 mile from the data center project under construction on Lincoln Avenue. I am here today to express concerns about the project and to ask Council to conduct an investigation into the completeness of information provided to city officials during the project's application process, and further to consider if the Planning Board's approval of the project is in accordance with all requirements outlined by the City of Vineland land use ordinances. Upon retrospective review of Planning Board meeting minutes, there is incomplete and misleading information regarding the project's emissions, power generation, noise, water, and electricity use. For example, at the June 2024 Planning Board meeting, the applicant states data centers almost have no noise to them at all. As someone who has been awoken from the noise from this data center, I assure you this statement is false. In their application, they also state that you may hear generators if the power goes out. 24/7 on-site power generation from over 300 gas generators, dozens of turbines, is very different from backup generator use. What other false or incomplete information has been provided by the business applicant in pursuit of their own financial gains at the expense of our community? Are these misleading claims enough to request the application be overturned? Without being provided adequate and truthful information, how was the Planning Board able to weigh the negative and positive criteria of this project prior to granting approval? Without being provided adequate information, how was the Planning Board able to consider the full impact of this project on our community? Given that the currently erected building is a mere 8% of the intended final footprint of the project, we ask City Council to put a stop order on construction while the legitimacy and completeness of the application submitted to the Planning Board is reviewed. Further, we are asking for the city to require this business to openly produce information and records related to their energy and water consumption goals, as well as relative emission forecasts, both as part of a re-review and on an ongoing basis. Thank you for your time and thoughtful consideration. No.
Good evening, members of City Council. My name is Laura Mallet. I am also a Vineland resident, and I am also speaking out against this AI data center. I don't know if you are aware of this, but a lot of the times AI has been used to steal, has been used to scrape numerous works of art, and not limited, but including pieces of art by numerous illustrators, voice samples from voice actors throughout the world, and also art by artists who are deceased. There is also great concern online that a lot of residents were not fully informed about the data center. Sorry, I
take your time.
Don't have a
Relax.
speech prepared. But there's also great concern about energy consumption, as was previously mentioned, and how everyone's electric bill will in fact go up because of this data center, not to mention the environmental impact from all the noise being generated by these generators. And better use for that money, I feel, would be, in all honesty, fix Chestnut Avenue pretty much from Mill to Main Road, because it's awful. instead of being used to fund a center where AI is actively used to steal art, to steal written works that are already in existence, and to create false generative copies that are, sorry. There has been a case of an AI-generated book that was purchased by a family overseas, and the information in that book actually harmed the family who used it. That is one of the many reasons why this AI data center should not be permitted to continue to completion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Edward Ruiz of Vineland, New Jersey, and I'm here to talk about the AI data center. Reports from Georgia of a AI data center that was built there have come with localized allegations of pollution.
Young man, speak into the microphone.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Okay. The massive water needs for cooling AI data centers are straining water supplies in Georgia. Localized allegations of pollution. A resident in rural Mansfield, Georgia, Beverly Morris, has reported that construction of a nearby Meta AI data center disrupted her private water well, causing a buildup of sediment and making her water unsafe to drink. Similar incidents in Tennessee and other parts of Georgia have been reported, where construction near data centers has led to water contamination for local communities. The significant energy consumption of AI data centers are usually powered by fossil fuels, which leads to increased greenhouse gas emissions. This could lead to global warming, rising sea levels, melting glaciers, intense heat waves, and severe weather events such as hurricanes, even those that reach as far north as New Jersey. Furthermore, AI data centers and their large amount of electricity consumption could cause higher utility rates. Data centers consume large amounts of electricity, increasing overall demand. This can lead to utilities increasing rates to cover costs of new infrastructure like power lines and plants, which are then passed on to all ratepayers. Increased cost of living. Soaring energy costs can contribute to higher overall costs of living, making it more difficult for households to afford other essentials like food and housing. Local resource strain. The high energy and water consumption of data centers can strain local resources, potentially leading to higher costs for the community. This is especially important in a place like Vineland, where we have our own independent utility and where we have so many farmers. Farmers already use a lot of water as is. Having them compete with the AI data center for water consumption already strains it even more than how it is already. Plus, increased utility costs could cause increased rent for those who have their water bill included in their rent, which could, of course, increase rent across the city. It could furthermore possibly even drive out landlords who might not be able to compete with other landlords who are able to foot the cost. Furthermore, a Bloomberg News analysis found that in rural and semi-rural areas within 50 miles of dense data center clusters, wholesale electricity prices spiked as much as 267% over 5 years. Examples include Baltimore area residents seeing their bills go up by about $17 a month due to power auctions driven by data center demand, with more increases expected. Current regulations often allow utilities to bundle a high cost of connecting these massive facilities to the grid into general transmission rates, meaning average households end up subsidizing the energy use of tech companies. Health costs from pollution. On-site generators can contribute to air pollution, which studies showing localized health impacts in communities with poor air quality, which can increase healthcare costs for residents. Note, the average annual cost of family health insurance premiums is nearly $27,000, with the average worker contributing $6,850. I think that is all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Jameson Matlock. All right, thank you very much. I'm a resident of Vineland, and I'm also here to talk about the AI data center, funny enough. Now, I just want to jump straight into it. A typical AI data center can consume, like people before me have said, an enormous amount of energy and water. And a few facts I have here, and a typical AI data center can consume as much electricity as, I believe, like 100,000 households, which that's for the larger sized AI data center, I believe. And now, when it comes to AI data centers, such as the one that we are seeing being built, it's going to take a lot of energy to run, to process, to have the center process and I believe filter the water if it's not already taking in filtered water. The negative impacts of AI are certainly there. And I apologize, hold on. The impacts of an AI data center, can be negative. The utility cost of an AI data center can be a lot. Like I've said, it takes a lot to keep it running. Like, I don't have the exact number, but residents' utility bills are expected to increase as a result of new AI data center construction, with nationwide estimates suggesting an average increase of around 8% by 2030. In specific regions with high concentration countries and data centers, the hikes could be significantly higher, potentially reaching 25% or more. Now, I'm mainly concerned with the AI data center because personally I would not want to see any form of prices being raised, whether that be for further constructing it or taking away from the city's water supply, reservoirs, and the energy and all that. And the average utility cost of a 5-family household is around $450 to $550 monthly, according to the data I have here. In the PMG electricity market, which covers 13 states, DC and New Jersey included, data centers have contributed to price increases that are expected to raise the average residential bill. Now that is not good. Frankly, I'm opposed to the AI data center for multiple reasons, besides the obvious facts that can have a negative impact on the local economy. But it's more than just that. It's the fact that I go to Vineland High School. I am 16, and by the time that this AI data center and everything is done by I believe 2030, when the AI data center should be fully constructed, I will more or less be probably looking for my own house, paying my own bills, my own rent, my apartment. And I personally do not want to have any of my rent, my bills, be increased, because they're already pretty high. I speak to my friends' family, my own family, and the cost of living is already decently high. And I feel like that this AI data center will only increase the cost of living, which, I don't think anybody would really want. Now, I do understand that I believe it's finished its first phase of construction, and I don't know, I believe it's 4 or 5 phases, if I'm not incorrect, I don't recall. But all I do know is that there's still, I believe, more than enough time to try and get it stop it from building. And I do understand it's gone through the proper processes and approval to be built, but just overviewing all the information that I have, I believe that it'd be more positive to stop it rather than keep it here. I believe that is all. Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Good evening, Council. Name's Matt Williams from Vineland, New Jersey. I'm also here to further some comments on the AI data center. The Nebius Group's plan to build and operate a 2.4 million square foot data center campus on Lincoln Avenue promises no adverse impact to the city. I have concerns about the contrary following news of Microsoft's agreement to use the facilities for the price of $19.4 billion over the next 5 years. Job creation and innovation are the central messages from stakeholders, but just 70 high-tech jobs are projected. What contribution does this make to Vineland's unemployed population? Microsoft has already abandoned leases and construction for 2 gigawatts worth of data contracts around the world. Nebius's annual report explains plainly our business is capital intensive and currently not profitable. This is true across the AI industry as a whole. Last year, Microsoft spent $80 billion toward AI for $13 billion of revenue. Google, $75 billion spent, $7 billion generated. Meta, $72 billion spent, $3 billion generated. Amazon, $105 billion spent for $5 billion of generated revenue. In total, these tech giants have spent over $300 billion for almost $30 billion of revenue. Physically, these systems require substantial power, as it's been explained. A single server rack by Data One is advertised up to 500 kilowatts of power required. That's enough power for 100 homes. This data center will require thousands of these. It seems inconsistent with the project permit's subcode occupancy of non-combustible storage, BS2, as filed. Why aren't we looking through the lens of a factory designation due to the high power density, the critical backup generators, demand for continuous operation, and industrial scale mechanical systems? Last Wednesday, a meeting was held between PJM and their stakeholders, specifically addressing the demand of data centers on the regional power grid. By 2030, they project a peak added load of 32 gigawatts across the region from Ohio to Delaware. Data centers are an estimated 96% of this demand. Their predictions indicate that without any upgrades, by 2027, blackouts should just be expected from the stress. All 12 proposals on Wednesday to address ratepayer burdens were rejected. Already, this past June, our bills went up 20%. Are we certain that ratepayers will not be impacted by the magnitude of upgrades required by data centers? It's difficult to imagine that systems this size, built at this pace, with this much speculation, will not have negative effects on the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, City Council members and residents of Vineland. My name is Robin Montagna, and I'm a lifelong resident of South Vineland, which is where the data center is being built. Before I officially begin reading my letter, I would like to ask council members 2 questions, neither of which I expect answered right now, but if you could reflect on them briefly, I would appreciate it. They are, what is your role as a council member? And secondly, what is a private industrial zone? I willingly give you my answer to the first question, for it doesn't seem that difficult. The role of a council member is to represent your constituents, ensuring city services are effective and promoting the community's overall well-being. The second question is likely more difficult to answer, try as you might. I personally had a very hard time learning about it. In fact, to me, it seems to be an oxymoron. Private industrial zone. Doesn't industry affect all of us? How can it be private? And industry in the city has the potential for far-reaching consequences. And I mention private industrial zone because supposedly that's what this area was zoned as at one time anyway. This evening I'm here to speak of those consequences and of the Data One AI Center on Lincoln and Sherman Avenues. Not Lincoln, Lincoln and Sheridan. Like Mr. Landicini, who spoke at the November 10th council meeting, I'm concerned about the tremendous amount of water and electricity that this and other proposed centers use. Recently, residents in a town in Texas were asked to curtail their water usage, including showering, because an AI center was using millions of gallons daily to keep their operations running. Proponents of these centers state that they are air-cooled. However, much of the water these centers use evaporates during cooling and cannot be recycled. It is my understanding that there's no requirement for owners of data centers to have conversations with communities about how much water they'll use. How likely is it that our town, besides being economically disadvantaged with lots of cheap land, was chosen for this center because of its proximity to the Cohansey Aquifer, a pristine body of water that holds approximately 17 trillion gallons? Perhaps our mayor and members of the planning board, who overwhelmingly approved the use of this site, are focused on creating ratables and growth. Ironically, however, these things also create more congestion and therefore the need for more roads, more schools, and infrastructure design and repair, which then creates the need for more ratables. When will it be enough? Oh, but this will create jobs, people say. However, according to countless sources, most of these jobs are temporary. For example, the construction of the centers, which in this case happened unusually quickly. In fact, according to an executive with Nebius Group, they are actively reviewing options to extend this pipeline further as they seek to grow aggressively. According to an article about jobs in AI centers in the Wall Street Journal, data centers have rightly earned a dismal reputation of creating the lowest number of jobs per square foot in their facilities. They're labor-intensive to build, not as labor-intensive to operate. Do we really want more data centers destroying our beautiful farmland and neighborhoods? And yes, this is a neighborhood. People live up and down Sheridan and up and down Lincoln. There are schools there. It's not some desolate area, especially when they do not add value to our community. They serve people all across the country and the world. It's not just for us. I'm tired of finding out too late about what's happening in my own community. It is apparent that the city is doing a poor job of keeping people informed. Oftentimes, it is after the fact that the public shows up to ask questions and they do not get answered. Mr. Spinelli, according to the Vineland Voice, has stated that not all council's questions have been answered and that the issue of the project not being fully publicized did not involve the city. Whom did it involve then? How can one be on council and not take some responsibility for informing the city of what is happening within it? Are you not a liaison between the mayor and the people? Vineland City has a Facebook page. Who is in charge of it? Why not post information such as this there? The Daily Journal isn't even a hometown newspaper anymore, so forget about relying on it. Fortunately, the Vineland Voice is stepping up and providing coverage of important issues. The people of Vineland deserve much better. We shouldn't have to wait to see an ugly, massive building before knowing what is happening in our town. Please, council members, find an avenue for getting information out to the citizens of Vineland. Thank you.
Hello, hi, my name is Tim Garrison. I'm currently a resident of Vineland. I also live in the neighborhoods behind the facility, tenths of a mile away from this on 1630 Country Bridge Road. My concerns are many. Change has long been expected in the area. Many ideas have come and gone regarding whether or not this area was going to be a sporting complex or Amazon warehouse, and then Trump National Golf Course. We even created a 9-hole private public course that we were supposed to use. Now all of that is gone. Seemingly overnight, and what seems to be typical and reported by a Harvard study on AI data centers, that yet again a new plan is now proposed in a pattern that meets the criteria under the table agreements between big tech companies and utility companies targeting low-income communities, promoting progress and change, and promising occupations, but not providing them. First and foremost, I would like the committee to consider the Federal Artificial Intelligence Environmental Impacts Act of 2024, imploring the need to mitigate the need to assess its environmental and health impacts. Also, the UNEP, United Nations Environment Program, from September of last year, demanded the priority to focus on the direct effects of the consumption of energy and water and the production of emissions and wastes on its communities. Even the White House AI Action Plan encourages a social license for communities to allow to operate together and meet the environmental standards of these programs on their communities. What I'm asking for is more transparency and consistency in these developments. Who's going to pay for the infrastructure and the utility upgrades? What impact is this going to have on our wild and scenic programs that we're so proud to have here in South Jersey? Also in 2023, the Institution of Electrical and Electronics Engineering reported that $6 billion have been in health damages, have been impacted by the communities. What safeguards are going to protect us against the impacts of these communities from the various environmental concerns proposed by these? My neighborhood does not even have city water, and we have well systems. What protections do we have that are going to protect us from the aquifer exhaustion? 4 years ago, July 21st, 2021, I had a house fire in the morning. I watched all day long as my house burned down to the ground. I had nothing at the end of the day because we struggled to get water to my house. We could not provide any water to the house, and everything that I owned disappeared overnight. How are we going to protect our communities? We're not even suggesting even sidewalks for our community, like for this. What types of impact? We haven't even discussed like the impact of transportation. What are we looking at as far as there? There's two entrances, one that's being planned on Lincoln Avenue, and one that's on Sheridan. We've already had schools being put in the program. The new trucking company that's gone in. What's being done to protect it like us? Right? Who is going to be responsible for measuring these? And how is it going to be reported, and how is it going to be measured, and how are we going to be protected from similar communities with skyrocketing respiratory illnesses, cancer, and death? I have many other concerns, or even how are we going to measure, or the relevancy of the tenant that's proposing all this, or with the rapidly changing technologies, and even now they just propose that there's cheaper ways of building this and better ways of doing the AI. We just need more transparency. This is happening way too fast. Every time we hear of a new meeting, there's new plans, productions. The first meeting they said that this plan was going to be 2.6 million square feet. Now it's 3.1. What's next? This company is already even admittedly saying this 300,000 thing. They plan on making it 1,000. They've they're not even trying to hide it. That they have plans on more. So.
Thank you.
Hello, good evening. My name is Victoria Moore. I want to start off by saying thank you to Zach Landicini for starting and getting my attention on this, and also to all the young people who are speaking up. I think that's very amazing. You're definitely braver than I was at your age. Okay, so the question we need to ask is simple. Can we afford additional threats to our air quality? The answer is no. At this stage, our priority must be improving the air our families breathe, not introducing new sources of pollution. Any innovation introduced needs to be ethical. We've seen the consequences of cutting ethical corners to make a profit. It comes back to haunt us. Consider the food industry. Eating meat itself isn't the problem. It's the system of mass production that exposes animals to extreme, stressful conditions. When a system is rooted in suffering, the consequences show up in human health because our bodies absorb the results of those processes. God has checks and balances. He would never allow for us to get away with a system rooted in suffering. Nothing built on harm stays harmless. If AI development is going to move forward, it should never come at the expense of our health. This issue is especially concerning for anyone with asthma, allergies, compromised immunity, or existing breathing problems. Think about pregnant women, children, and babies, those who are most vulnerable to chemicals such as formaldehyde, benzene, and toluene, which Zach mentioned before. These substances are already known to contribute to respiratory problems, cancer risk, and immune system dysfunction. We should be working toward healthier families, not exposing them to more toxins. There is also an immoral dimension here. Approving a facility that risks harming residents who already face health challenges mirrors the troubling pattern in our country and worldwide. When systems prioritize profit, the most vulnerable get sacrificed. That is not acceptable. That is actually eugenics. That's what it is. Most people struggling with their health are dealing with environmental stressors, not personal failure, not failures of character. And they deserve protection, not increased exposure. We should not allow Vineland to become another cancer alley. There are plenty of those hotspots in the U.S. already. Vineland is beautiful. I grew up in Vineland. I now live in East Vineland. It's gorgeous. And beside being an eyesore, I am very concerned about our community's air quality, our children. Are we going to see a correlation in disease and higher disease? For what? This is our home. Please take this seriously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council. My name is Sarah Pensabene. I live on Pennsylvania Avenue in Vineland, New Jersey, less than 2 miles from the AI data center. I attended the zoning board meeting last week with the intention of reading this speech that I have here on my phone, but I was shocked to find out that it's not open to public comment unless there's a pending application. So even though they're still continuing construction and planning on expanding this AI data center, I was not able to share my concerns. I, like so many, moved to Vineland for a couple of reasons: fresh air and a lower cost of living. I fear that these enjoyments are at risk. I'm representing a group of over 30 residents who are unhappy, to say the least, with the rate, scale, and poor communications surrounding pertinent details regarding the data center development on South Lincoln Avenue. As development continues, it is evident that this project will have an appreciable impact on air quality, water consumption, noise, and overall quality of life of Vineland residents. I ask that members of this council ponder a few questions. How will this expanding development affect the property values of residents close to the noisy, emissions-heavy data center? Will it cause a ripple effect in the community? What other effects might it have in addition to detrimental environmental impacts? Will too high utility costs cause long-standing local businesses to close their doors? Will proud farmers need to decide between watering their crops and having fresh drinking water? How will this impact local wildlife? These are just a few of the long-term effects of the data center that you should consider. I also would like to just note that Mr. Ocasio said it best at the beginning of this meeting, that the role of council is to keep its residents, let's just say that.
Constituents.
Thank you. Residents at the forefront, and that should be your main priority, and I think that's worth reiterating. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lawrence Garrity. I was here previously I live in Vineland on Orchard Road. First off, I want to thank everybody that spoke up about the data center because economically it's poor. Like, I don't know why we're even doing data centers in Vineland. Don't we already have one?
No.
Put that out there. My previous statements when I came here the last time was about the Vineland Public Library blocking the Down Jersey Coalition from having meetings and how the No King's Day protest was thrown out of the city. I asked for clarification. I was told I would receive an email. I have not received an email for clarification. It was about a month ago. I never got my email clarifying why the Vineland Public Library, which is not letting anybody have meetings.
Did you leave information with Mr. Dickinson?
I did. And the Down Jersey Coalition is older people who protest. And they were told they're not to have meetings there because they will riot. Everybody here is almost 60. They're not going to riot at a library. I do want to add further comments on what's being built at the Old Sears, which is the True North Church. Have any of you looked into this church? The history of the church, anything? This church pushes Christian nationalism and anti-LGBT agenda. I am asking, as people previously stated, what is the role of the city council? It is to represent the people that live here. People that live here are gay, they are trans. You're telling me that's okay, that you're all okay with putting that church here, in the center of Vineland. I think that's incredibly screwed up. And I think it's cowardice. The leader of the church, his wife, has previously stated herself that you cannot be right with God unless you're married and it's a man and a woman. We all know what she's implying. This church also pulls in millions of dollars, obviously, as they spent $2.4 million to buy the property. Are we going to tax them? Do they create jobs? Like, what is the purpose here? Are we going to hope they help the community? Vineland already has 60 churches. And in the surrounding area, including Bridgeton, we have 200 churches and religious organizations that only employ about 40 people. I don't understand what we're doing. We build the golf course because we want to bring people here. We turn the convention center because we want to bring people here. Are we bringing them here to go to Wawa and churches? Are we going to seriously continue to waste property? Like, I look into the history. I've only been politically active about 6 months. I do the Young Democrats, and I helped run Mikey Sherrill's campaign in Cumberland County. I'm going to say that looking into this county and this city mainly, it looks incredibly corrupt. There was a property sold to a sitting assemblyman for $1 million. The property was resold almost like 6 months later for $8 million. That assemblyman has been influencing elections that are supposed to be nonpartisan. Like, I don't understand what's happening here. Are we going to improve this place? Are you going to take care of your people? Or are you just going to sit up there and work for whoever the hell is telling you what to do? Because there's no way you're going to put data centers and mega churches here and tell me that you're doing it for the people that live here. Do you have a comment?
We don't banter with the public. State what you have to say, sir.
I have to state is, I think all of you should consider putting in resignations if you think this is what you should do for the people of this city. This city deserves better leadership. It doesn't deserve a mayor that's literally corrupted by the GOP that was willing to hop on Jack Citarelli's campaign in a city that is 30% Latino, and he was going to strip our sanctuary status and allow ICE to run rampant. That's my problem. And I think all of you should reconsider what your job is and how you should take care of these damn people, because you're failing. Thank you.
Good evening, Council. My name is Zach Landicini. I'm a Vineland resident. 337. That is the number of mainspring linear generators to be installed in support of the Data One data center on Lincoln Avenue, as per amended site plan obtained through Oprah request. 337 generators. These generators will supplement power generated through expanded LNG substations and will burn LNG themselves. While these are high-efficiency, low-emission systems, the scale in which they are being deployed at the Lincoln Avenue Data Center is staggering. 337 generators. Depending how frequently these systems will run, the CO2 and nitrogen oxide emissions they off-put may significantly impact local air quality. Overwhelming scientific evidence has linked CO2 and nitrogen oxide emissions to the development of asthma in children, chronic respiratory disease, lung cancer, heart problems, and adverse birth outcomes. 337 generators. To adequately assess the emissions of such expansive power generation, a comprehensive analysis factoring generator on time and fuel quality, among other considerations, must be conducted. Which brings me to my second point. The City of Vineland Master Plan, Section 425-359, titled Moratoriums, Interim Zoning, reads as follows. No moratoriums on application for development or interim zoning shall be permitted except in cases where the city demonstrates on the basis of a written opinion by a qualified health professional that a clear, imminent health danger of the inhabitants to the community exists. In no case shall the moratorium or interim ordinance exceed a 6-month term. Can anyone on this panel truthfully and adequately assess the health effect of 337 generators, as well as significantly expanded LNG substation power generation? Asthma, chronic respiratory diseases, lung cancer, heart problems, and adverse birth outcomes. 337 generators. I encourage the members of this council to consider the details of this project with greater scrutiny, especially when considering future development and zoning requests as this project continues to develop. If they have not reviewed the major site plan, I would be happy to share the version obtained through Oprah request with them. In closing, I would like to reiterate a quote from Charles Antoine Baynet, CEO of Data One. Our ambition doesn't stop with what we're announcing today. We aim to build this campus out with multiple clients and tenants to become a gigawatt-scale data center campus. Will this city council, the mayor, and all other city officials use the resources at their disposal to fully examine and scrutinize the health effects of continued data center development? Or will they continue to rubber stamp and expedite development that prioritizes the profits over the health and well-being of the citizens they have been elected and appointed to serve? And in closing, I see I have a little bit more time. I'd really love to extend my heartfelt thanks to everybody who turned out to express their concerns regarding this project. I'd like to thank the council for addressing our concerns before the public comment. I'm unsure that it will satisfy the public. It's one thing to go through the processes, but I think we all can be frank here and say that most of the public has been left in the dark, and I think they aren't going to be satisfied until their concerns are heard, whether it's in this forum, at planning boards, zoning boards, especially in the ballot box in 26 and 28. I would advise the members of this council to consider the tools that they have at their disposal to help the citizens who are concerned with this development to come to a solution and to feel that their needs are met as citizens. Just, as a reminder democracy, you know, you work for the constituents. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. No one else? We will close the public portion. Thank everyone for their participation.
Okay.
Mr. Franchetta?
Mr. President, I present ordinance number 2025
We'll let it go. Come on, let's go.
Sam Sanowski, Vineland resident on Hansbridge Road. You know, I just wanted to speak against this whole project that's going on. You know, in the City of Vineland Code of Ordinance, it's prohibited use of in the IB zone is an operation which is offensive because of the emissions, vibrations, and noise. Emissions is generated from over 300 gas generators, dozens of turbines, and backup diesel generators, you know, shown on the site plans. You know, also too, the interaction may be intentionally avoided during the applicant's planning and board meeting. On the City of Vineland's website, there is no direct reference to agendas being published online prior to the meetings. However, there is no notice of the June 26th, 2025 Plan Board meeting, special meetings agenda available on the city's website. How can the cities be informed that, you know, if the city did not disclose the agenda of this meeting like they have done to prior applicants? There's just so many questions that we have. Who is actually benefiting from this? Are the residents benefiting? You know, what happened to, let's put our residents first? Seems like that we're just putting this big monstrosity of a project that has zero benefit to the city of Vineland, at least that I can see, and from everybody else's voice their opinion here. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Rich, go ahead.
Mr. President, I present ordinance number 2025-80, an ordinance to amend and supplement ordinance number 8, which established classification and compensation plans for the City of Vineland Interconnection Compliance Specialist, which is ready for a public hearing.
Chair entertains a motion that ordinance number 2025-80 be taken up for a public hearing and open to the public for discussion.
So moved.
Second.
Councilmember English?
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
President Spinelli?
Yes. Is there anyone who would like to be heard on ordinance number 2025-80? Seeing none. Chair entertain a motion, public hearing on ordinance number 2025-80 be closed.
So move.
Second.
Councilmember English?
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
And President Spinelli?
Yes. Chair entertains a motion on ordinance number 2025-80 be taken up for final reading and adopted according to law.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none.
Councilmember English?
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
President Spinelli?
Yes.
Ordinance 2025-80, an ordinance to amend and supplement ordinance number 8, which established the classification and compensation plans for the City of Vineland Interconnection Compliance Specialist. With a vote of 4 yeas, this ordinance is hereby adopted.
Mr. Franchetta, please submit ordinance number 2025-80 to the mayor for his approval or disapproval.
Yes. I present ordinance number 2025-81, an ordinance to amend and supplement ordinance number 8, which revised the classification and compensation plans for the City of Vineland Superintendent of Public Works.
Chair, I entertain a motion that ordinance number 2025-81 be taken up for a public hearing and open to the public for discussion.
So move.
Second.
Councilmember English?
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
President Spinelli?
Yes. Is there anyone who would like to be heard on ordinance number 2025-81? Seeing no one, Chair will entertain a motion. Public hearing on ordinance number 2025-81 be closed.
So move.
Second.
Councilmember English?
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
President Spinelli?
Yes. Chair entertains a motion on ordinance number 2025-81 be taken up for final reading and adopted according to law.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Seeing none.
Councilmember English?
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
President Spinelli?
Yes.
Ordinance 2025-81, an ordinance to amend and supplement ordinance number 8, which revised the classification and compensation plans for the City of Vineland Superintendent of Public Works. With a vote of 4 yeas, this ordinance is hereby adopted.
Mr. Franchetta, please submit ordinance number 2025-81 to the mayor for his approval or disapproval.
Yes.
Thank you.
I present ordinance number 2025-82, an ordinance to amend and supplement ordinance number 8, which revised the classification and compensation plans for the City of Vineland Chief Engineer and Director of Municipal Utilities, which is ready for a public hearing.
Chair entertains a motion that ordinance number 2025-82 be taken up for a public hearing and open to the public for discussion.
So move.
Second.
Councilmember English?
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
President Spinelli?
Yes. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard on ordinance number 2025-82? Seeing no one, Chair will entertain a motion. The public hearing on ordinance number 2025-82 be closed.
So move.
Second.
Councilmember English?
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
President Spinelli?
Yes. Chair entertains a motion ordinance number 2025-82 be taken up for final reading and adopted according to law.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Seeing none.
Councilmember English?
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
President Spinelli?
Yes.
Ordinance 2025-82, an ordinance to amend and supplement ordinance number 8, which provides the classification and compensation plans for the City of Vineland Chief Engineer and Director of Municipal Utilities. With a vote of 4 yeas, this ordinance is hereby adopted.
Mr. Franchetta, please submit ordinance number 2025-82 to the mayor for his approval or disapproval.
Yes. Present ordinance number 2025-83, ordinance ratifying and renewing ordinance number 2025-4 and releasing, vacating, and extinguishing any public rights in certain paper streets abutting city-owned lots as depicted on boundary survey prepared by Frailinger Engineering, which is ready for a public hearing.
Chair entertains a motion ordinance number 2025-83 be taken up for public hearing and open to the public for discussion.
So move.
Second.
Councilmember English?
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
President Spinelli?
Yes. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to be heard on ordinance number 2025-83? Seeing none, Chair will entertain a motion. Public hearing on ordinance number 2025-83 be closed.
So move.
Second.
Councilmember English?
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
President Spinelli?
Yes. Chair entertains a motion. Ordinance number 2025-83 be taken up for final reading and adopted according to law.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Seeing none.
Councilmember English?
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
President Spinelli?
Yes.
Ordinance 2025-83, ordinance ratifying and renewing ordinance number 2025-4 and releasing, vacating, and extinguishing any public rights in certain paper streets abutting city-owned lots as depicted on boundary survey prepared by Frailinger Engineering. With a vote of 4 yeas, this ordinance is hereby adopted.
Mr. Ranchetta, please submit ordinance number 2025-83 to the mayor for his approval or disapproval.
Yes. Present ordinance number 2025-84, an ordinance to amend and supplement ordinance number 8, which established classification and compensation plans for the City of Vineland Assistant Budget Examiner, which is ready for a public hearing.
Chair entertains a motion ordinance number 2025-84 be taken up for public hearing and open to the public for discussion.
So move.
Second.
Councilmember English?
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
President Spinelli?
Yes. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard on ordinance number 2025-84? Seeing none, Chair will entertain a motion to move the public hearing on ordinance number to end. Chair will entertain a motion. The public hearing on ordinance number 2025-84 be closed.
So move.
Second.
Councilmember English?
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
President Spinelli?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion ordinance number 2025-84 be taken up for final reading and adopted according to law.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Seeing none.
Councilmember English?
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
President Spinelli?
Yes.
Ordinance 2025-84, an ordinance to amend and supplement ordinance number 8, which established the classification and compensation plans for the City of Vineland Assistant Budget Examiner. With a vote of 4 yeas, this ordinance is hereby adopted.
Franchetta, please submit ordinance number 2025-84 to the mayor for his approval or disapproval.
Yes.
Thank you.
I present ordinance number 2025-85, an ordinance authorizing pilot agreements for project tax exemption for various applicants, which is ready for a public hearing.
Chair entertains a motion that ordinance number 2025-85 be taken up for public hearing and open to the public for discussion.
So move.
Second.
Councilmember English.
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas.
Yes.
Vice President Gomez.
Yes.
President Spinelli.
Yes. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to be heard on ordinance number 2025-85? Seeing none, the chair will entertain a motion that the public hearing on ordinance number 2025-85 be closed.
So move.
Second.
Councilmember English.
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas.
Yes.
Vice President Gomez.
Yes.
President Spinelli.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion that ordinance number 2025-85 be taken up for final reading and adopted according to law.
Move.
Second.
Discussion. Seeing none.
Councilmember English.
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas.
Yes.
Vice President Gomez.
Yes.
President Spinelli.
Yes.
Ordinance 2025-85, an ordinance authorizing pilot agreements for project tax exemption for various applicants. With a vote of 4 yeas, this ordinance is hereby adopted.
Mr. Franchetta, please submit ordinance number 2025-85 to the mayor for his approval or disapproval.
Yes.
Thank you.
Present ordinance number 2025-86, ordinance amending ordinance 2023-7 as amended, Chapter 358, Section 358-6 of the Code of the City of Vineland entitled Firearms Permits, which is ready for a public hearing.
Chair entertains a motion that ordinance number 2025-86 be taken up for public hearing and open to the public for discussion.
So move.
Second.
Councilmember English.
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas.
Yes.
Vice President Gomez.
Yes.
President Spinelli.
Yes. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to be heard on ordinance number 2025-86? Seeing no one, Chair will entertain a motion that public hearing on ordinance number 2025-86 be closed.
So move.
Second.
Councilmember English.
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas.
Yes.
Vice President Gomez.
Yes.
President Spinelli.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion ordinance number 2025-86 be taken up for final reading and adopted according to law.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Seeing none.
Councilmember English.
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas.
Yes.
Vice President Gomez.
Yes.
President Spinelli.
Yes.
Ordinance 2025-86, ordinance amending ordinance 2023-7 as amended, Chapter 358, Section 358-6 of the Code of the City of Vineland entitled Firearms Permits. With a vote of 4 yeas, this ordinance is hereby adopted.
Mr. Franchetta, please submit ordinance number 2025-86 to the mayor for his approval or disapproval.
Yes.
Thank you.
Present ordinance number 2025-87, an ordinance to amend and supplement ordinance number 8, which established the classification and compensation plans for the City of Vineland Assistant Chief Accountant, which is ready for a public hearing.
Chair entertains a motion ordinance number 2025-87 be taken up for public hearing and open to the public for discussion.
So move.
Second.
Councilmember English.
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas.
Yes.
Vice President Gomez.
Yes.
President Spinelli.
Yes. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to be heard on ordinance number 2025-87? Seeing no one, Chair will entertain a motion ordinance number 2025, that the public hearing on ordinance number 2025-87 be closed.
So move.
Second.
Councilmember English.
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas.
Yes.
Vice President Gomez.
Yes.
President Spinelli.
Yes. Chair entertains a motion ordinance number 2025-87 be taken up for final reading and adopted according to law.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Seeing none.
Councilmember English.
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas.
Yes.
Vice President Gomez.
Yes.
President Spinelli.
Yes.
Ordinance 2025-87, an ordinance to amend and supplement ordinance number 8, which established the classification and compensation plans for the City of Vineland Assistant Chief Accountant. With a vote of 4 yeas, this ordinance is hereby adopted.
Mr. Franchetta, please submit ordinance number 2025-87 to the mayor for his approval or disapproval.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I present ordinance number 2025-88, which is ready for a first reading.
Chair entertains a motion ordinance number 2025-88 be taken up for first reading.
So move.
Second.
Councilmember English.
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas.
Yes.
Vice President Gomez.
Yes.
President Spinelli.
Yes.
Ordinance 2025-88, ordinance amending ordinance 89-13 as amended, Chapter 425, Article 1, Section 425-5 of the Code of the City of Vineland entitled Land Use, General Provisions, Fees, so as to add a fee for an amendment to the Master Plan of Streets in accordance with Resolution 6732 of the Planning Board.
Chair entertains a motion ordinance number 2025-88 be passed for first reading, and that a public hearing be held on Tuesday, December 9, 2025 at 5:30 p.m.
So move.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none.
Councilmember English.
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas.
Yes, yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
President Spinelli?
Yes.
Present ordinance number 2025-89, which is ready for a first reading.
Chair entertains a motion ordinance number 2025-89 be
Yes.
taken up for first reading.
Got it.
Mistake there.
Okay.
Got it. Thank you. So moved. Second?
Second.
Thank you.
Get a motion?
Yeah. Councilmember English?
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
And President Spinelli?
Yes.
2025-89. Ordinance denying an application to amend ordinance 2004-25 as amended and entitled an ordinance adopting the Center City redevelopment plan consistent with Resolution 5203 of the Planning Board of the City of Vineland so as to deny an amendment to Block 3015, Lot 14, consistent with Resolution 6731 of the Planning Board.
Chair entertains a motion ordinance number 2025-89 be passed for first reading. Now the public hearing be held on Tuesday, December 9, 2025 at 5:30 p.m.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Seeing none.
Councilmember English?
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
President Spinelli?
Yes.
I present ordinance number 2025-90, which is ready for a first reading.
Chair entertains a motion ordinance number 2025-90 be taken up for first reading.
So move.
Second.
Councilmember English?
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
And President Spinelli?
Yes.
Ordinance 2025-90, ordinance authorizing the execution of an agreement of sale and such other documents necessary for the acquisition of certain property known as 552 East Landis Avenue, Block 3019, Lot 6, Vineland, from Newfield National Bank, Newfield, New Jersey, and the City of Vineland.
Chair entertains a motion ordinance number 2025-90 be passed for first reading. That a public hearing be held on Tuesday, December 9, 2025, 5:30 p.m.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Seeing none.
Councilmember English?
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
President Spinelli?
Yes.
City Council has approved that all the matters listed below are in the consent agenda are considered to be routine and non-controversial and be adopted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which case the item will be removed and considered with an individual vote. All matters on the consent agenda have been presented to City Council neither during a work session or pre-meeting conference and appear on the consent agenda without objection. Their titles will not be individually read into the record, but will be properly memorialized in the meeting minutes.
Chair entertains a motion to approve all items on the consent agenda.
So move.
Second.
Councilmember English?
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
And President Spinelli?
Yes.
Okay.
This time we'll have privilege of the floor. Councilman Vargas.
I'd like to congratulate again all the retirees. Best of luck. And like I always say, welcome to the club.
Councilman English.
I echo Mr. Vargas's sentiments to the retirees, and you always hope that you can replace them with the same quality that's going out. Also, a lot to be thankful for. Thanksgiving's rolling in. A lot of good things going on. And then finally, I can guarantee the public one thing. The word rubber stamper, did I hear that correct?
I believe.
Doesn't sit well with me, and I imagine it doesn't sit well with my fellow council members here. I've always run anything I've done on transparency. That's what made me successful as a businessman. There were no secrets, okay? It gets a little confusing sometimes when the public comes up and speaks, that they're not aware of some things that are going on. That is a two-way street. Are you not aware of some things that you don't like, or vice versa? I don't really want to go much further than that. You got my attention tonight with that compound word. Is that what that is, my friend?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to sharpen my pencil a little bit. Okay? Thank you.
Councilman Gomez.
just echoing their sentiment, right, on the retirees. We want to thank Josie, your better half, for an amazing job she does every year. We're looking forward to the festive holidays. So happy Thanksgiving and getting ready for Christmas.
I hear you. All right, I echo everybody about the retirements, and I would wish Jim Donovan the best of luck. He's retiring from television, so we'll be looking at new ventures. I'm sure he'll be traveling. And kind of echo what Scott said. I've been on council, this is my 13th year finishing up. And I think you can ask anybody that sits in City Hall, I don't rubber stamp anything. I raise questions, I ask questions, I argue if I think I'm right, until somebody proves me wrong. And the fact that certain people are not informed, maybe we can do a better job of publicizing. I don't know. We'll check into that. And maybe we can do a better job of getting back to people. I don't know that either, because I know our people are pretty good at getting back to people. But there are mistakes made and things forgotten, et cetera, because sometimes personal life gets in the way. But that being said, it is also the citizenry's responsibility to be aware of what's going on in town as well. I know they know what's going on if the leaves need to be picked up because they make a phone call. Or if a tree limb is down, or if their electric's out, I get 10 phone calls. And I know Dennis already knows, but I call him anyway. So they know what they want to know. This project has been going on for easily 5 years. So for them to come in now and say they didn't know anything, I find that kind of interesting, especially since they all live right there. Because I'll be damned, I would know what's going on across the street from where I live. In fact, I do know what goes on. A water pipe broke the other day. I was right out on the street talking to somebody. So, you know, the reality of it is it's, and we're not perfect. We don't claim to be. But we do a pretty yeoman's job. And not blowing my own horn, but I'll blow the horns of the people that are around me and the people in City Hall. This administration has made it a point to get people that work hard and that work together. And we will continue to do that. And we will try to do better for this group of citizens that's unhappy. But again, I stated it the other night, it's private property. All right, we need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Councilmember English?
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
President Spinelli?
Yes, have a good night, everyone.